The 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 body mutilations, the beheadings, the dismemberment, the
The human shields.
all that.
It was crazy. And I remember one day, the we stopped getting stuff delivered to our fire base. It wasn't a fire base, it's a base. Camp. And all the workers we had coming to help us, local nationals, their heads arrived in a bag outside of our gate. And so getting people to come help the Americans was extremely difficult.
They sent all the heads of your local workers to your front gate? Holy shit. How many heads? Did you know these guys?
Did not. I'm just a dude. I'm still like living in La La Land because we're waiting for the mission. I'm just wondering why we're not getting a water supply. I'm wondering why, this thing hasn't been delivered. I'm just a dude. I'm waiting with my scratch off phone card, waiting in line for an hour and a half to use the fucking morale phone. Because I'm still living in a reality that I don't even know where I'm in and where I'm at.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just waiting for tasking. But all these big things are happening. And at the time, I was a low-level guy. I wasn't really involved. You just hear the stories. Then you start...
What the fuck does that brief look like? Hey, if you guys are wondering where our local workers are, their heads have all been chopped off and they're in packages at the front door.
Well, back then, dissemination of information wasn't really a thing. And that's my perspective. That's my view on things. And I say that because when we finally got the green light to go in, it was March 26, 2004. And we are tasked with, we are pushing through the city of Fallujah and we're clearing it.
With how many people?
Our entire battalion. So 4 companies. My Marine math is not that great when it comes to the breakdown of all those outfits.
100?
Hundreds.
200?
Multiple battalions. So there's other units. Because I believe Fallujah was a 4x4 grid square. Or 2x2, something of that nature. And there was... My battalion was the main effort. So other adjacent battalions were doing other combat missions to support our push through the city. So they were more on the outskirts, kind of like funneling people towards us. So the plan was. And so we stage at like 02, 03 in the morning on our camp. But the night prior, my platoon commander comes in and he's like, everyone's going to write their death letter.
Jesus Christ.
And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, I got goosebumps even thinking about that. Because at the time, I didn't know. I saw some guys get shrapnel wounds. I heard the stories of the heads. I seen and hear the explosions. But then I'm told to write my own death letter. And I'm like, what do you say? What do I do? And I had a girlfriend at the time, so I wrote a letter to her. My parents were in my life. I wrote a letter to my parents. And we all turned our letters over to our platoon commander. And that's when I knew shit was fucking real.
Do you still have those letters?
I don't.
What'd you write?
I really don't remember. I wrote what an 18-year-old kid probably would. I was motivated at the time, so I probably wrote some shit like, I'm dying for, I fought for my country, I fought for my team. I love you guys, I miss you.
Do you think your parents still have that letter?
No, my parents got more than a letter later.
Okay. Well, we'll wait for that.
Yeah, it's coming up.
Right on. I mean, that's fucking demoralizing.
Yeah, it was pretty demoralizing, but at the same time, I didn't know any different. None of us knew. No one knew. And I get it. Some people might be thinking, "Oh, dude, it's war. What did you expect?" But no, I've been to war. This was hell. This was something that shaped my life for the rest of my life. As long as I live, I will never forget that. I won't remember all the details. I still don't remember all the details. I don't remember all the phase lines. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I remember the feeling. And I have never been able to shake it ever since. So we load up in these trucks. I'm in a 7-ton, those big, very clunky, non-quiet diesel, 18 military tactical vehicles. And we're all smoking cigarettes, light discipline. We're still on base because the drive is only like 10 minutes. The drive from your DVD player, your shitty fucking food, and the thing you call a bed, you're 10 minutes away from hell. And it's just outside your gate. And the drive was that 10 minutes. 10 minutes of fucking silence and pure fucking darkness. And I just remember feeling like the rumbles of the truck. I smell the JP8, the fuel. You can feel that energy for all those fucking souls that are there. These fucking dudes, you can feel it. The silence, that bonding that speaks no words. That mindset that has no category. It just is what it is. And only situations can bring that about. And we stopped right outside the city. It's the Cloverleaf. It was like this highway. There was a highway right outside of it. And there was this cloverleaf of a highway, like entrance points, on ramps, off ramps. And we park outside of that and we unload. And it's just dead quiet. It's pitch black. But there's these street lights. And we're all like, what's going on? What are we doing here? Like, what's the next phase? What's the next step? And you hear gunshots. And a few of us, to include myself, we duck. Well, it's our guys shooting out these streetlights, which it's not as easy as movies make, especially with 5.56. And it took a couple shots to make these things happen. And then it got super quiet. And then my team leader comes up and he's like, hey, we're tasked to do Overwatch and push forward. I'm like, okay, I was a point man. That was my fucking job. I was good at it. So not only am I navigating to a destination, which we didn't have one, my head's on the swivel. I have to see everything and relay that back. Because it's our mission to provide information to our battalion, to our commanders, our subordinate commanders, so they can create and determine what's intelligence and what needs to be action and what needs to happen. And right on the outskirts of the city was this unconstructed building. And I remember making my way up there. And it's beautiful. The sun's peaking. There's that smell of unknown, a new country. And it was so peaceful and quiet. It was insane. Saw nobody. We slowly start to push up. We're still remaining in an Overwatch position. And the IFABs come up. These small Mercedes Jeeps, and our weapons guys, our weapons company guys, the guys with the Mark 19s, the 50 cal, the 240s were mounting on these little things. And I remember they pushed up in an L shape to provide support so the infantrymen can continue to push up and bound as they were trained to do. Bound from one place to the next place, and we're gonna clear this village, this city. And then, like that, an IFAB just disappears. And it blew up, literally right in front of us. And I was like, holy fuck, this is real. I always knew it was real. I heard the stories. I saw the explosions. I fucking saw the holes in the bodies. But now I'm there in the thick of it. There's no chow time. There's no break. There's no pee break. This is it. And it's maybe 7 in the morning, 8 in the morning. The day has just begun. And that doesn't stop anybody. We push the fight. We continue to push. Now sporadic gunshots start happening. Now we have ground elements that are maneuvering. Now we're in this hustle and bustle. There was no martial law. There was no stability operations. This is a fight now. And still not to the full capacity of what was awaiting us in Fallujah. And at the time, to me, as a point man on a sniper team, I didn't think there was a lot of planning. I'm not saying I was a master planner back in the day, but I learned about phase lines later in life. And there was no phase lines during this. There was no limits of